Chad Stahelski und der Hauptdarsteller Keanu Reeves. Morning, sir. Back. Patrice, good to see you.
Good afternoon.
All right. As I've been already saying to the audience, first and foremost, I would like to compliment you for that movie. I mean, I just saw it yesterday, and I already told you after that I was ready for a hug. I was glad that I could oversleep it because I had really a lot to digest, and all I can say, compliment to this movie, because instead of going for a wider audience, apparently, you were absolutely consequent and you delivered John Wick bigger, better, extended. So I would say there was no compromise, or am I mistaken? How many compromises did you have to go through in order just to create this new set of John Wick?
Well, first of all, thank you for the kind word.
Not many.
Yeah.
I don't think we really compromised. I think we just kind of made the movie that Keanu and I both like to see. A good, hard-boiled action, anime, Asian cinema extravaganza that looks good.
Italian
with a great,
cinema.
Italian cinema, little Japanese cinema.
There's everything in there.
Little everything that we love about cinema.
But then in your own tone, your own vision.
But was there never the minute where somebody said, okay, why not tone it down? I mean, because I know your goal is just to show things that people haven't seen before. Where did you grab all of these ideas? Because, I mean, action cinema has not been there for only 2 years, but for so many years. How far did you go just to find something? Why not using this? Because also when it comes to the cast, you decided specifically to find actors who are not so commonly known to be in that genre.
Yeah, again, I think we just set out to make a movie that we wanted to see, and I don't think we ever have. I think Keanu and I are both in the hard-boiled genre, so we'd love to see more of everything we did. But you only have 2 hours and 15 minutes to put as much action as you can into a movie. So I don't know. We just kind of did the action and designed it what fit best for the story and the world that we were doing.
And the humor.
We like making people laugh as much as we
Wick
can.
tone.
But it's very fast paced. Sometimes you just have really just to need some rest, and then sometimes you kind of miss the humor because you're like, oh my God, I don't believe what I just saw. For instance, you working also with livestock. There's this one scene where you have these horses, and I feel like this, because I'm afraid of horses. That big, massive, and being relaxed next to them and do your action stunt. I understand this cannot be as easy just to have an ordinary fight scene in a ring or something like that.
Yeah, the horses were really exciting. It was really fun to train with. It was really fun to have the opportunity to ride down the streets of Brooklyn being chased by motorcycles and have a gunfight. That's just the fantasy of John Wick. And, it was thrilling, and I think it makes for a really fun sequence.
All right. So as I said, all of that, what I have to tell is actually your time, and I understand that some of you have some questions. So if anyone has a question, there in the first row, we have already a gentleman. The first bidder.
Well, hi, I'm Marcus. This is a question for Keanu. Do you stay in shape constantly, or do you, for every movie, you have to do some extra work?
No, I mean, I try to get in the gym once in a while. After the intensity of a project, say like John Wick, you definitely need to recover and rest. Take a couple of days off and then get back to it. Couple weeks.
Any further question? Then the second row. Now I'm really curious. Wait, we just have a microphone just for you. It's happening right now.
Hi. The movie has a lot of brutality, and you are interested in Buddhism. How can you get the balance between the brutality and the gentleness of the Buddhism?
That's life, isn't it? Life's complicated, and life has a lot of different sides to it. I'm not Buddhist, but I guess there's not practicing compassion in John Wick. I don't know.
It's like our characters, they're very complex. They live in a world that's got ups and downs and positives and negatives. I mean, at the end of the day, we're interested in something very fun, a character's journey, and that takes them through some pretty rough parts of town.
Which is very interesting because there's this also like this one scene where you talk about what exactly the meaning of assassin means and giving like different kind of angles on what exactly is behind it. And it also seems that this entire movie, it's really about politics because it's about honor, regulations, codes, and all of the kind of thing. It really seems to be like an emphasis on that as well.
Yeah, there's also a sequence where John Wick is talking to Winston, and Winston asks him, who do you want to die as? How do you want to die? As this kind of man or this kind of man? And he kind of offers a light and dark version. I use light and dark conceptually, not necessarily in a good or bad way. But so I think there's some, I think the film has things to offer in terms of how to think about things and entertain and have fun.
All right, thank you for that question. Another one? Oh, right there, third row. No, we were not at the Berghain.
Oh, alles klar. Radio RBB 88.8 for Keanu. Question: how hard was it to get this complex choreography in your mind? Did you kind of watch a lot of martial arts things, or do you just practice like a ballerina in a kind of another shape?
Yeah, both of them. In terms of preparing for the role, I have a lot of people, helping me, instructing me, supporting me. There's an action team, so we work together, and the philosophy is we have the vision of the sequences with Chad, and he kind of says, okay, we're going to do a knife fight that's like a snowball fight, and then we start to train, and they basically want me to have we call it the John Wick toolbox. So learn a lot of different judo throws, work on the weapons, and basically with the choreography, just choose, depending on the story, use different skills. In some sequences I train more, and some we just make on the day, and some we do in the moment. Yeah, definitely people speak about it. You speak about it as it has many things to do with dance in sense of a vision, a choreography, an ensemble, choreography, and then performance.
Thank you for that question, but which is interesting because Angelica Houston, who plays the director, used to be your trainer, your coach, but at the same time she's taking care of ballet dancers. Is there a certain significance behind that picture?
Yeah, I love ballet. I love dance choreography. So it's the same thing, but it shows the two sides. Different ways to train assassins. The boys get the sambo, judo, jiu-jitsu, and the girls get the dance. Shows a little dichotomy there.
Yeah, I think I would suck in both of those kind of genres, but thank you so much. I thought I saw first Tim, and then we go back to you.
Hi, I'm Mo for Tip for Spielfilm. I have a question for Keanu. Your co-star Halle Berry said that because of John Wick, she now knows how to, and I quote here, how to fuck up people. So how do you think about your self-defense skills in real life? Do you think you could hold up?
No, not at all. This is fake fighting. This is just, choreographed action. Definitely, I don't want to. I like peace.
Thank you for that question. Now, as promised, back to you.
Your most favorite sequence in the movie, which one was it?
One of my favorites is the scene with Angelica Houston, where we learn a little bit about John Wick's past. I love that scene. I think the knife fight is remarkable. I think the motorcycle fight with the swords is pretty special. I love the glass house sequence for the variety and the intensity and the fun in that sequence. I think the horse is pretty awesome. What else we got?
Pretty much everything.
Yeah, they're all so unique in their own way, But and I also love the scene with the elder, Masai Tagnui, and I love the scenes with Winston. Yeah.
Apparently, you were very impressed by the Sahara. That's what I read as well.
Yeah, absolutely. To be in that place was something very profound and special.
Shooting at night and
shooting in the day, and yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was great.
Right.
Yeah.
Over there, I'm getting back at you. I'm seeing you. Don't worry.
Hello, my name is Christina, and I have a question for Keanu Reeves. First of all, how many bones do you have broken making the film?
No, I've never been hurt making John Wick. It's yeah, I've got a lot of people helping me and support, and the stunt people that I'm working with are fantastic. And Chad wants to push the action, but you know, he's very considerate of everybody and what everybody's skills can do. So yeah, I've never been injured making the films.
Nothing.
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
And I have a second question, just a short one.
Okay.
Was it your wish making now a romantic comedy after all that shooting and fighting?
Oh, are you talking about Destination Wedding? Yeah, I mean, I'd love to be able to work in different genres and tell different stories.
And voiceovers. Moving up to the middle, right there.
Yeah, we stay in the realm of statistics. A lot of people try to keep on track with the death toll in movies. I gave up in your movie after about 10 minutes. Do you have any idea how many people you killed, or your director has maybe some numbers?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, we know. I have an editorial staff that is very, very into it. So every time we make an edit, they count. We have a big board and editorial. So yes, they're aware of how many John Wick kills, what he kills them with, and how many died in the film. Theatrically died. No real stuntmen were hurt during the filming of this movie.
And I recall this one edit for the first movie where you did also the body count with this classical music. Was that also something that actually came back on the third one? Because in the end, there was also this choreography
Yeah,
with
I think
classical
there's
music.
a website. There's some people that do that. We didn't do that. That was an independent party, but for all three films, 1 and 2.
And your thoughts on them?
They're very entertaining.
All right, I think over there, like the front row.
Hi, it's me again, also for Keanu. How do you handle vanity? How important is vanity for an action star? And do you like watching yourself on screen?
Yeah, I really love John Wick films. I think they're a lot of fun. The performances, the world, the cinematography, the costume, the humor, the action, and the vanity. For me, it's hopefully people like what I do, and when you go into a project, you're not as an actor, you're not controlling the edit and stuff. But I like to see the work at least once to see what the work is like. I'm not really someone who there's some performers and artists who don't really. They like the experience of making it, but don't necessarily need to see the finished painting. I like to see the painting at least once.
All right, second row.
Hi, I'm a big fan of your movie, and I'm a big fan of Mok Dacascos, and I wanted to ask how he became part of the movie, and was his character always this kind of weird John Wick fanboy?
I knew Mark Dacascos way back in early 90s when I was just a stunt performer. We had met on a movie called Drive, which is something he had done a long time ago. When Keanu and I were talking about the creation of the character Zero, we actually had in mind Hiroyuki Sanada, who Keanu had worked with on 47 Ronin, and I'm a big fan. And we originally had the part for Hiroyuki, and he's a very, very serious master ninja. Hiroyuki was had a problem with he had injured himself just training off on his own, and he had a surgery and he wasn't going to heal in time, and we were hoping for the best, but it just wasn't going to happen. So regrettably, Hiroyuki had to take more time off to recover, and Mark, who had asked to be in the movie, who was just going to be part of our stunt team, I went to him and asked, how would you like to be more? And he literally got on the plane that day and flew out and saw us in New York. And he originally tried to kind of go what we had written, which was a very serious Japanese sensei. And anybody that knows Mark is like Zero. He's very happy and energetic. So he started doing takes like that, and we just looked at each other and went, yeah, that's be a fanboy. And it kind of came out through who Mark really is. And it made us laugh behind the monitor, so we just kept doing it that way.
Any further question in the middle, right there?
Hi, Nadine Faslaven for Promi Flash. I've got a question to both of you. John Wick is a very tough action movie, but was there a funny moment during the shooting at all, or what was the funniest moment? Maybe a scene that always went wrong or something like that.
Have you ever worked with dogs and horses? Yeah, like every day is a new joke, I think. Specific. Horses don't always do what you want them to do. So there was a lot of cleanup with the stunt team, yeah.
Funny moments that aren't in the film. Life funny moments. No. No. I mean, we're having a lot of fun making it, but I can't recall, like, you know, something that you all would consider funny.
But what happened more often, that you had to cry a shot cut because somebody didn't get his line or because somebody didn't get his move?
No, slipped in horseshit. There's always that.
There you go.
Dogs like to chase cats. We had a lot of cat problems.
Morocco.
Yeah.
Right, plenty.
Oh, right, then the dog went and chased the horse?
Dog went and chased the horse. We had to,
Yeah.
and it wasn't one of our horses. It was one of the New York City Police's horses, so that
But
didn't
that's
work
not
out
really
well.
funny, ha ha.
It was it's much funnier now.
It's funny now.
It wasn't funny then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. It is.
Okay, there's the dark side of journalism. Front row again.
Keanu, I want to ask you, do you have a special program when you're preparing for the role? I mean, a special diet or a special training program?
The training is really the training. And do a little training before the training. And what I mean by that is, you know, just kind of getting ready to do judo and some of the jujitsu, the weapons manipulations and stuff. Diet, yeah, just try and eat right. If you're filming an action sequence for 10 hours a day, you have to have a certain amount of calories, being consistent, you know, consistently through the day for energy. But nothing, it's not very high modern science in the sense of like, okay, what's your heart rate? You know, what's your glucose? You know, I mean, it's not like that. It's just, yeah. Huh? No. It's a lot of fun to make a John Wick film.
Again in the middle. Oh, he's coming over. I'm with you in a minute.
So I'm not only a big movie fan, but I also like to follow the NBA. So I was personally excited to see Boban Marjanovic in this movie. So can you tell us something about how was it like to design an action sequence for such a big guy? He's like 7'4", and what was it like to go against him?
He's a cool cat.
He's super. I was looking to do. I love the New York City Public Library, and Keanu had come up with the idea that he's got his safe book or safe bag there where he needs to get out of town. And when we scouted the New York Public Library, it was very small, and we thought the best way to do it was have the biggest stunt person we could find fight him, and that would be a great way to open the movie. And we thought back to Jaws and Bond and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Game of Death with Bruce Lee, and we wanted something like that. We couldn't find anybody in the stunt world above 6'6", 6'7", and our producer Bal Zionic was a huge basketball fan, and he had seen Boban when he was on the Clippers, and I had seen all his little commercials, and I thought he was very entertaining and had a great look. So we asked him to fly into New York, and we put him with the stunt team for about 2-3 weeks, and then introduced him to Keanu. Keanu's fought a sumo wrestler in the last movie. This one, we've got Boban, and we've got Chep and Yeon, which are both 5'2" from the Raid. And I just think it's fun to choreograph. We have different physical attributes with the different assassins.
Yeah, and Boban really committed to the training. I mean, he was really interested in it. He's an athlete, so, you know, he's definitely, you know, physical and knows his body. And, yeah, he was great. And, you know, great reactions, great timing. And he had a lot of fun and a really good kind of spirit of going in, like, let's do it. I think after 4 hours or 5 hours of fighting, I think he was just like, wow, okay.
This is the real deal.
This is interesting.
It's not like a basketball game.
It's like, okay, we're still fighting. And he was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, he didn't get a stunt double.
Yeah.
So that was all him.
Yeah, he was awesome.
But you still believe that reading is good, although that for him it was quite deadly.
Yeah, knowledge is power.
Yeah. In that case, for John Wick, again, like second row.
John Wick loves sports cars. It was shown in the first movies. In the third, I didn't see a lot. What kind of cars do you like? Or do you prefer riding bicycle or going by metro?
Yeah, we didn't have any classic muscle cars in this. What happened, Chad?
Budget. Budget. Horses, dogs, motorcycles.
Yeah.
Didn't you get like a discount from him from Arc Bikes or anything like that? Or?
No, we didn't have any arches.
No,
Didn't use
it
arches.
wasn't right.
No, it didn't fit, yeah.
Yeah,
A lot
exactly.
of motorcycles. But,
Yeah.
you know, I
Yeah,
think
no, I love riding motorcycles. Cars are
we
amazing.
appreciate muscle cars. We're big fans of the old Steve McQueen. I mean, that's where we got the original idea for John Wick from Bullet. And we thought that was really cool to be John Wick vested into the 70s vibe. We really like that.
Another one, third row, RBB. Former SFB.
Yes, Senderfreies Berlin. So would you share the number of bodies with us, Mr. Stahelski?
Oh,
I think we had that question before.
That would,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be no fun.
Oh, come on,
You gotta go
please.
back. You gotta go back and count. It's more than number 2, but not as many as number 4.
And most of them shot or stabbed or strangled.
There's a pretty John Wick is pretty equal opportunity. I would say most are shot.
Right, another one there. Oh, front row.
So will you continue with John Wick, or is this Capital 3, is this the end?
You know, it's really up to the audience. You know, after the first one, you know, it had kind of the appreciation for the film grew, which gave us the opportunity for chapter 2. Gratefully, people liked what we did, and hopefully people will like what we did in chapter 3. If that's the case, then we might have the opportunity. Personally, I love the role. I love the world of John Wick, and I'm interested to see what happens.
Oh, you go first for the last one over there. Although this would happen much faster, but for suspense reasons,
I think it's a follow-up question to that one. I read about the Continental, the series. What can you tell us about the future plans for this one?
I can't really tell you much. The movie studio Lionsgate is interested in continuing stories off of the John Wick story in the film. So they wanted to create perhaps some stories revolving around the Continental world, which sounds like fun, but I don't know anything more than that.
Back to the front.
I would like to know, how did you film those scenes on the motorcycle? Were you really driving and fighting at the same time?
Yeah, no, that was, we wanted to take John Wick action and put it in different places, and one of those was the motorcycle. So that one was a mix of real motorcycles and riding, and then technically some stage work.
So how many bikes had to suffer? Because I understand maybe one scene didn't might work out.
No, I think we crashed 6 motorcycles on them. We had 6 go down. That was all good. But it was meant to be a sleight of hand. So there's all real people, all real crashes. We did quite a bit on the Verrazano Bridge in New York, which is the longest suspension bridge in the United States. Keanu doing some riding on the streets, and then our stunt team and our choreography team doing some stage work on motion-based motorcycles with the actual swords.
So
I dare you to figure it out.
So seriously, just like with one, like these swords that you use, actually you could actually make this bike collapse for that matter. Not that I would try that, but
In John Wick, yes.
okay, good to know. I'm not going to try. I'm just going to take your word on that one.
Fantasyland.
Again, on the
Another question, yes. There is this German tattoo on the adjudicator's neck. Whose idea was this German word, and why is it this word?
That is an actual tattoo on Asia Kate Dillon. That's Asia's actual tattoo, yes. We thought it looked really cool, and it had an interesting meaning.
Right next to you?
Yes, I have another question for Keanu Reeves. How do you come out of your role in the evening, after shooting the whole time, after fighting and getting wet?
When I take the costume off and I get out of the role, I start thinking about the next day's work and reflect upon this day's work, and I get out of the role and into a tub of really cold water.
Ice bath.
Yeah.
And then maybe some hot water, and then sometimes I just jump into a cold shower afterwards. Then eat a lot of food, keep thinking about next day's work, reflecting on the day's work, and try and get 8 hours of sleep.
I mean, as you already talked about the body count that apparently is going to be higher on fourth, without really admitting that there's going to be a fourth in the making. But how many ideas would you have already, and how many of the people of the new cast would also be part of it? I mean, Ian McShane, Lance Reddick have to be in there. It's like your family pretty much. But apparently it's really like nobody likes the high table. So I would assume many of ideas would go that way.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, we really
Write
are
it down.
creating this as we evolve. There's a lot of ideas. I have some thoughts. Chad has some visions, but we won't really know until we start.
We kind of sit down and start thinking of great ideas, both from the stunt world, from the character world, from the story world, and we just slowly piece it all together to keep it interesting.
All right. Any further question there? Like in the second row again. Then we go back to the first one.
It was the third time for you playing John Wick. Was it for you like coming home and you know what to do and everything is fine, or was it really a new challenge for you?
It was really nice. It felt very much more on the coming home side. I literally wore the same suit from chapter 2. So it was a really, and I keep the ring in the watch. So I have that with me in my home. So that's always around. So when I put the ring on, the watch on, put the suit on, yeah, it starts to awaken everything. You know, you do the internal work, and then when you put that on, you're ready.
Yeah, the last fighting scene made me want to have a Swiss watch too, that glass. I don't know why, I just had the impression I need Swiss-made watches. Yeah, for some reason. Back to the front row.
Keanu, in a former interview, you told me that you hated to shave yourself, the beard. So are you happy that you, in the movie, could look like your own
Yeah,
style?
I would imagine that comment came off of if you're playing a role clean shaven, you really have to do that all the time. And so it's kind of nice not to have to do that. So for John Wick, yeah, you don't have to shave, but you have to scissor it. You know, there's still some grooming involved.
This will be now the last question. Back in the front row.
This is less than a question and more something really personal, because my son is called Neo and my husband is called Constantine, and you're his man crush. Do you think you have a minute in the lobby after all your interviews to take a photo, because my husband
problem.
really loves you, and
Yeah, no problem.
it's so nice.
Yeah, sure.
So I could also, and I'm just kidding. Well, but then thank you. We will have to see about that. As I told you, like for the personal, it's me who's going to be in charge, but we take care of that, because some of you also like waiting for the interviews later on. But you're the man, whenever you decide.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
So you're gonna
say
dance
hi
with
to
us.
Neo and Constantine.
Okay, great for that.
All right.
So thank you so much. Let's not forget, this movie will start in Germany on the 23rd of May. You will enjoy it if you like action. These guys are delivering really one-of-a-kind movies. And thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to
Thank you,
Chad
guys.
Stahelski
Thank you
and
very
Keanu
much.
Reeves. Dankeschön.